Just hit the button, they said. And I just hit the button, so. Um, button? Button? Which button? The B button? The B button? The B button. The B button. Welcome back, my friends. It's been a while, and God, it's hot here. It's so hot. You can probably see me glistening on the stream. So, back in Spain, I had planned to stream all summer from Germany. Yes, I've been running away from the heat. Sorry about that. Had long discussions about that. Things happened. Maybe I talk about them, maybe I don't, but now is not the time. So let's dive straight into this. And I have a new project. We've been all over the place and did this E-frame, eGUI demo thing, and a bit of storage for AWS DynamoDB. And can we make games? Can we please make games? And I have no idea how good the audio is. I came back here and everything was still in place, so I just pressed the button, upper right corner, stream, and I hope everything is working. God. If I take off my shirt, no, not gonna happen, but I wish I. Whew, heat. Heat. Heat, heat, heat. Is there green tint on this? Am I green? Am I really green? Am I as green as my green screen? So, what we're gonna do. So, Rust. Rust is a given. Ads. Oh, ads. You know that ads thing, I completely forgot about that. So, how about a bit of don't even where's my buttons? Oh, ads are still on. So where are oh ah, different setup, no button to go into the corner and still no button on my tiny little stream deck. So I have to this works. This works. Okay. So I can get out of the way and I'll even let's make a clean screen, right? I'm gonna do this. And it looks like the ad break is almost over, only 90 more seconds. Okay. Do I give you the backstory or not? So, I've been coding Rust on and off for nearly 8 years now, and exclusively for the last, oh, 3 years, 2 years. I mean, exclusively. So Rust is a gift. I started to dabble into C Sharp and Python and JavaScript again, and no, we're gonna do Rust, right? So that's Rust, and we're doing a little side project with I'm doing a little side project with a friend with the old Fish and Fish RAR OML game engine. So OML game, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, right? So this thing is still alive, and we're actually doing a game based on that. I'm not sure there was a commit, right? I actually did some minor changes 5 days ago, so we're gonna go into that again. The engine, the renderer here is basically 3D in the background, but it's only exposing a 2D API because we only ever did 2D. And so I want to extend that to 3D to get some movement effects on the new game. Plus, I want to work on render targets, add some stuff to allow glow, and all of that is happening, right? But I have that other thing, that thing I go to every day. Well, not go to, but log into, switch my brain into. It's called a job. It's called a job. And that job pays my rent and my food and insurances, mostly insurances, a little bit of rent and then a little less food. But so where was I going with this? So I have my work. And um, the backend is working. The backend is fully Rust. The converters are working fully Rust. Deployment, mostly scripts and stuff. So I'm slowly being pushed into more front end work. And I love making games. So yay. Uh, and that is right now. Hey there. You said you won't be here, so I was hoping to have a quiet stream alone, nobody watching, making me nervous, but yoo-hoo! Um, so I'm being pushed into Unity. On the other side, I've been watching how Godot is evolving over the last years, and I think with 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, there has been a breaking point. I've never used it. I never used it. I never touched it. I opened the interface on the flight this week. So let me get you out of the way. Sorry about that. Um, oh, it's so hot here. So, what we're gonna do. So, I need to relearn Unity, and I have hundreds, if not thousands, of hours worked in Unity. I think I have 2 or 3 certifications in using Unity from various. Don't ask. I've led giant teams running Unity. I ran game jams on Unity where I worked alone. So I have tons of experience in Unity, and I opened the Unity editor this week and was like, okay, so that's one side, right? Unity. And the other side is, but I want to do Rust, and Rust integration, and Godot is good, and Godot is open source and supposed to be this amazing engine. So I watched tons of YouTube videos on Godot this week, probably 10 hours, and I just want to I want to do it, right? So Unity, Godot, I need a project, right? I can't just play with the engines and see what they can do. I need a clear goal. Ouch. Mm. So, I mean, if so we talked about Unity, and yes, I'm gonna buy all the cookies. Talking about no, only on ad breaks, only ever on ad breaks, right? Unity, Godot, OML game, and then there's this new tab here, and it's called Fiiish v3. So, what is this all about? What is this all about? I literally created this repository like 20 minutes ago, 21 minutes ago. Good guess. So, if you remember, when we did OML game, we did Fiiish RS, right? We did Fiish, plus also, actually, let's look for Fiiish. So we have Fiiish, we have Fiish RS, and so 10 years ago, 10 years ago was the last update to Fiiish. Oh, okay. So, so Fiiish started 10 years ago as a, probably over 10 years ago, probably 15 years ago as a quick hack over weekend, and then became this game. We're gonna look into this. I'm blabbering a lot today, right? Yes, I know. It's the heat. Forgive me. So we're gonna get into the meat and bones of it. Don't push me. Chillax. It's Friday afternoon, nearly 6 p.m. You should be happy I'm with you. So I'm happy I'm with you. So Fiiish wrote the game, released the game, did a lot of that on stream as well years ago. Probably all those files are still somewhere on my YouTube channel. I need to clean up my bookmark bar. So did the Fiiish version, did Fiiish for iOS, iPhone. Then later did an iPad version, did a macOS version, did a tvOS version. There was an Android version briefly, but to be honest, no. Just no, sorry. Um, And then I think it was about 2 years back on stream. Was it two? So let's forget this. This is the wrong. But I'm not sure. At some point, can we just go to the last page, please? Can we? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing. Am I doing this? 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Am I really doing this? It's nice because my mouse wheel keeps. Oh, so this was the initial commit, right? 3 years ago, March 26, 2021. And I think we did a week on stream to re-implement Fiiish in Rust completely from scratch, right? And the result of this was this is Fiiish v3, right? Let's make this bigger. And then there's Fiiish RS, right? And this is the folder that this is basically this folder here. And I wasn't still learning Rust at that point, and oh, I updated Rust, so. But we wrote the whole engine, the framework, the renderer, the UI system, the audio player, the input system, the pack file system, the tools, the level zones. Same. We're gonna go into that. And that resulted in this game, right? So with this fully, let's pause this real quick. With this fully resizable window, right, the virtual height stays the same, but the width is completely fluent. Ignore the background. We have the menu system here, right, which is working. We have the font renderer and all of that. You heard me blabber about that on stream thousands of times, right? We had the... Oh, I just killed the fish. K is not the button I wanted to use, right? So all of this. Let's just say all of this. And it's working. And the idea was to have a Steam release for those of you who are still stuck on Windows or Linux, or just have a Steam. I mean, you could just download the source files and just run it. I mean, you probably have to also just cook the data, which basically converts the source assets into the runtime assets. But all of that, I mean, goes pretty fast. But we wanted a Steam release and then got stuck. Had some trouble with Steam because I have a Steam account registered in Germany, a developer account. And as soon as I open the Steam page in Spain, they lock my account. And the only way to fix that is to call Steam support while I am in Germany. And I have to be physically in Germany, GeoIP, phone, blah, complex. Went through that multiple times, and then as soon as I opened the page in Spain, I'm locked out again. And I have my account flagged and closed 2 times, and then it took 3 months. But it looks like we're making some progress. So here's the idea, right? And it really looks much better when I have the correct window width. We're gonna take this whole project. So I need to relearn Unity. I want to learn Godot. I want to do a new Fiiish version. So we're gonna take the old Fiiish version as is. No shortcuts, no changes, no, oh, but I do this differently because that engine... No. We want a Fiiish version. Fiiish v3, Fiiish v3 v3.0.0 that looks exactly, and version numbers will change because I'm going to start with v00, but v3.1 that looks exactly like v2, like Fiiish RS to the user. Exactly. If I give you the binary, there shouldn't be a way to distinguish them. Well, file size, but if you look at the window, right? So, and we're going to do that in Godot. And we're going to do that in Unity. And that will probably fry my brain, right? That will just completely fry my brain. but it gives us kind of a baseline for comparison, right? I want to see how easy is the engine to understand, and Unity should have a big advantage there because, as I said, I have thousands of hours there. Um, how good is the documentation? Unity costs something like, I don't know, what's the current plans and pricing? So Unity Personal, Unity Pro costs $185 a month, right? And I don't want to publish, right? I just want to start and experiment. But this thing is expensive, right? This thing is this thing is very expensive. I mean, that's $2,000 a year, right? That's probably the most expensive tool I would consider using. So I think that should have a head start in documentation and support and features and but let's see how that goes. So we want to know how fast can we do our game. Then obviously how flexible are we? Can we do everything we need? I mean, can we do everything we need for Fish v3? Then how is the surrounding ecosystem? Plugins, tutorials, videos, support, community, blah, right? And then obviously, what's the resulting binary? Cheap viewers on, let me just let me just can't I just please Twitch, let me just right click and ban this guy, right? I don't care about cheap viewers. So, train of thought, right? Um, Obviously, what's the resulting binary, right? How big is it? How performant is it? But also, I want this to run on mobile devices, right? So how much energy does it use? How big is the binary? How's it download? How does it feel? So also from the user's perspective, because I'm not happy with the results Unity is delivering there, but I'm not sure if it's the developers that use it wrong or if it's just the engine. So we'll keep an eye on that. So by the end of this, and I have no idea how long this takes, right? I mean, we implemented Fish from scratch, writing our completely custom engine in like 2 weeks. So if any of the 2 weeks as in 80 hours, right? So sorry, dry throat. So if it takes more than 100, let's say 100 hours, 100 hours, if it takes more than 100 hours in any of these two, in any engine, to create Fish and make it store ready, right? 100 hours to have it in a store, then that engine is history. Then I just use my custom engine forever because I can do it in half the time writing the engine on the side, right? Um, Ooh, funny because I'm in Barcelona at that date. Mental note to self. So, what we're gonna do, and I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. There are two options, right? We do it in Unity first. Well, there are two and a half options. We do it in Unity option 1A, Unity first, then Godot. Option 1B, Godot first, Unity, then Unity. I'm leaning towards option 2, which is both a little bit. So 1 day of Godot, 1 day of Unity. I'm not going to open both at the same time and do the same features at the same time. That's just so. A problem with that is whatever I do last will have a slight advantage because I just did it and reread the old code. So I'm probably going to leapfrog, right? Do, I don't know, a bit in Godot and then that same bit in Unity and a bit more in Unity and then that same bit in Godot and then a little bit more in Godot. So it should average out. And we're gonna make a plan, right? So wow. So every good project, And I'm gonna look into this very soonish, right? But every good project, and I'm gonna black you out real quick because I have no idea what editor. Oh, okay, so that worked. So sometimes Sublime opens old work, other editors. So every good project starts with a to do, right? And this will be a bit weird because usually you know how I do my to-dos, right? Usually I do this. Well, I do this and then do something. But I have to do it twice. So I probably want to have two to-dos. I was thinking about doing this, one for Godot, one for Unity. I probably do it like oh, come on, idiota. They don't understand that people have to work here, right? So they just blast their music. Sorry about that. So I probably just do it like this. We'll come up with something, right? And then we have obviously in progress. And then we have done, and at some point we have released, right? So in this case, I want to go one step further, and I want to do something that is a plan, right? And the plan is more higher level, what you would call epics in a bigger project. That music is. I mean, the guy upstairs literally watering the head of the guy downstairs blasting the music, and he's like, "Is it raining? It's 30 degrees and sunny." So, and the plan is more the epics, the big items. Then we do stories, and maybe we should do something like Jira, to be honest. But I don't want to. So the plan. I'm going to do the plan right now, and then we're going to start. And I plan to do a long session tomorrow, and pick your poison, right? So the high level plan, right? And I'm going to use to-dos here as well, is extract all needed assets from old game. And form, right? And we have a slight problem here that I'm trying to solve, right? Because if you remember, we had the licensing, right? We had the licensing, right, with the dummy data. So dummy data is all, this is all fine, right? This is all good. This license is whichever you want. And then we have the real, well, this is dummy data. Let's go to dummy. Let's go to fish content, right? And that license here, I worked with a friend back then, and I paid for these assets, but I never got and that person got paid really fair, considering that person got paid more than the game ever made. Let's say it like that. But that's fine, right? But I never got sign off to reuse this assets, so I can put them here in this folder, right? And I own the rights to the fish, but the animation, for example, was done in Spine by that person, and the decorations were done. Well, Ferris not, but well, decorations not, but the background actually is fine because I was sitting next to that. But then there's some of the UI. I did the coins and the flag. But for example, this frame, technically I don't have the sign off, so We probably put it in just as a placeholder. And that's why I didn't want to, that's why if you look in the repository, right, there's no license attached. So, I mean, you can just strip the texture from the screen. And to be honest, I generate that. If I sit down with GIMP and my tablet, which I don't have here, so painting with a mouse again, this is less than an hour of work, right? But I want to be very, very clear here. And this is actually the initial obstacle I created, and we're going to use that. And then we have the various rocks, right? And these, I was sitting next to that person drawing the rocks, but technically I only got sign off for Fiiish and not for using it in an open source Fiiish. So we're skirting the line here. That's all I'm saying. So blah, freaking license. So extract all the needed assets from Fiiish, right? Just have them in a shared asset folder, and then the project specifics can take it from there, right? Then head up base project, and these we have to do in both editors, right? And then I don't know, where do we start, right? Add fish and basic movement, right? If you just look at this, right? Let's just go through. This list will get longer, and if this was a big project with like dozens of developers, I would spend a week just thinking about it, sleeping on it. But we want the fish, right? So the fish is one big part. Too much debug. So we want the fish, and when I press, it's very simple. When I press space, the fish goes down. When I let go of space, the fish goes up, right? And we want to keep that. That is basic fish movement. No collision, no nothing, just the fish moving. In place. Let's turn, oh, music. I own the full rights to the music. I created them in GarageBand, the instruments. We're probably gonna commission new music, right? We should change that screen. So, didn't I just... There's a bug. The audio button doesn't work. Okay, good to know. So moving up and down, right? Okay, what do we need? And that is a bit more complex, right? Add background. Because the background, if you watch closely, it has this color shift, right? Now it's this more greenish turquoise blue. I don't want the audio, right? And then it turns to the dark blue, and then it turns back to that turquoise. And when you die, it goes to the dark blue and then to the black. And that's a fade, right? That's a color ramp. We're going to look into that texture, but that's actually quite complex. And then if you start playing again, it goes back to that clear flash and starts. So there's always a smooth transition for the background, right? And I think that's very important. Plus, what the background also does, it tiles endlessly, right? It's an endless background. So background is actually, we'll be reading the documentation of the engine there, right? So background is a big topic, but we're gonna do that very late. What is more important is obstacles, right? Obstacles. With collisions. All right, this will be super interesting. Super interesting. We want the obstacles. So I'm not sure which button it was, but there was a way to... I don't remember. There was one button too, but they have collision shapes, right? So we want the obstacles with collisions. And then we have something called a zone, right? So this layout here. The zones are random. You always start in this zone to get a bunch of free coins. Something is wrong with the audio player. And then these zones, right? Where are the obstacles? These come from a level editor. The old version is done with Tilite Map Editor by Bjorn. And also the coin placement is there, right? And you see now we are in a different zone. And so we want to do zones, right? And the zone randomizer plus, yeah, I didn't want to die, so add zones. And here's one thing I want to be able because we have all these zones and I want them to be perfect. If you want them in both versions have to load the same file. And if we then edit one in one, we have to save it back and then the other version has to load it. So we want loading and saving and also the zone management, right? There's some logic deciding which zone you want to play next. Pre-roll off for 30 minutes. Nice. Did I miss an ad break? I hope not. So we want zone management, right? Then what we also want, and I want to do this and then this, and there's a reason for this order. And then I want to add pickups, right? And you might not have seen it, but you have these yellow coins, right? Which are just normal coins. And it's a texture animation, right? It's a sprite sheet, basically. And then we have the magnets here. And guess what the magnet does? It increases your magnet rate. And then we have the green thing, which spawns a coin wave. And the blue coin, which gives you a coin rain. So I want to re-add that, right? Special coins. And then obviously handle death and restart, right? Because when you die, all of this needs to be cleaned up. The coins fall to the bottom, the fish swims to the top, you get the results. Let's ignore UI for the moment, right? And then you can restart. And that needs some cleanup, and there's some logic included there, right? Then add in-game HUD, right? And HUD is just this. How many coins have you collected this run and how far did you go, right? And I expect fonts to be much easier than, because last time we just created fonts from scratch and font rendering and all of that. And right now I just assume both engines have a label where you say, here, print this. And then we have the in-game pause menu, right? And the settings. So add in-game menu, pause menu, and settings. And then we also have this screen. Well, no, this is the. Then we have this screen here, right? And there's something going on, right? It's not just showing the results, it's actually animating, counting up in a nice fancy way. I somewhere lost the bubbles because the old version had bubbles going up here, so add results screen, right? Add results screen. And I think, ooh, something that is hidden here, which you don't see, I believe. Wow. no, that's the release tool. I wanted to do the fish main, right? And this is the whole main, right? But this is the whole main. And I thought we have script support. I literally let me check something. I thought we had script support, but maybe that was in the project after that. Maybe the fish version didn't have script support, but I want to add that as well, right? And at some point the background, but I'm gonna call this bonus. Add basic script support for testing and screenshots, right? So I used that in the original fish version because you need, for the various stores, you need lots of screenshots, right? And I wish I had the old fish version with overlays and in certain situations, and every time you update it, you need to do screenshots and resolutions. So I had a script that basically said, hey, load this zone, play 5 seconds, put the fish here, swim here. Oh, nice, this preview looks cool. Swim here and turn on the decals like overlays, coming soon, or swim endless. So they're probably here, and then do a screenshot, automated. Idiots. I don't know why they do it. I mean, the UI on Twitch is abysmal for this. So, whoa, lots of talking. So, but this is roughly what we want to do, right? And some of this should be like, okay, I mean, okay, okay. I mean, I hope there's a create project button. And some of them is like, okay, I have no idea. Multi-texture shader. And then stuff like scripting support. I mean, ideally, I would love my scripting language for that, which is just basically Rust-like. It reads like Rust with less functionalities, but it's Rust. So, whoa. And here's one thing I want to do. I'm about to commit this, right? And I'm gonna stay on main. For this whole project, we used to do one per episode and as a learning exercise for branching, and that was okay. But for now, I will just, and this is, I don't know why my window moved down. Um, Season 1, episode 1, right? Because you never know how this goes, right? Um, add plan to do. I just one repo, and you can just let me just. Yes, it was nice to do the pull request reviews, but basically you can just read through this and see, hey, this is where we are, right? And I want you to follow along. Okay. So now we still have 20 minutes. So I'm gonna get started with actually, I have 300 gigabyte free, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna download Godot. We download Godot. Oh, 100 megabyte done. Okay. And we're gonna download Unity setup, right? And I'm gonna start this at the end of the stream because I know it will download like 9 gigabytes of data. And I think this is it, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a Unity folder here, gonna make a Godot folder here, right? And then we make an assets folder, right? And the assets folder is the interesting one. Well, actually, let's copy from left to right. So we have Fiiish RS, we have assets, right? And then basically, I said, here's the screenshots, right? So that were automated, and here's some stuff for the stream, for the overlays. Here's workflow helpers. Oh, nice. But this is all very old, right? So we have basically, oh, we even have the, remember the release tool? That is what OMR bumper is now. Talking about OMR bumper, oh, we don't have Rust. We don't have Rust in the mix. And that's going to be interesting how we manage versions. But we have the content, right? And if you remember, this is our internal, what do we do with assets, right? For example, the background is just copied in. And then we have decorations. And so I'm gonna just go manually through them and copy these two, right? And let's so the background, for example, that's the grayscale background, right? And then we have the gradient here, which has the various zones. So it maps black to the left side and white to the right side, and then what I control is the y-axis, right? So if you play, it bounces between these, and if you die, it bounces down here, and then if you restart, it goes here. Well, if you stop the game, fading out, and if you fade in, it goes from here into bouncing mode again. So we have the background. Nice, nice. Decorations, yeah. I could also just, I wonder, oh, that's different topic. So we have Ferris here. I mean, he needs to be there, even if this is not Rust anymore. We have the fish. Not sure why he's under decorations, and we have the heart, right? Then fish. So we have the die animation, right? And then we have the swim animation, and I have no idea. Oh, this is the collider. This is the, oh, collision. We could import the old collisions. I don't know if anybody ever uses physics editor anymore, but this is basically polygon of collisions, so we just redo them in engine, right? So this is the fish we have here. The die animation, and the die animation is literally 2 frames that do nothing. And then we have the swim animation, right? Which is, can't I just, which is just the fish swimming up and down. We could animate this in engine, but we want to stay with the old format, right? Then we have fonts and all things pink. I think that was a CC0 font, I hope. Terms of use, personal use for free. I think we did have a license back then somewhere. Not even sure the font made it into the game. I think we paid $15 back then. I have to check that. But considering that we talk about that licensing, right, we'll double check before we release anything. And I mean, maybe I just pay this person that amount and we're done with it, because nice font, right? Nice font. And I'm pretty sure if I'll dig up the old fish, what I'm gonna do here is I'm saying touch. All right, so in the font folder, check license for all things pink, right? Just so, because I know the old project has the license key somewhere in the repository. I just lost it on the transition, right? So we have fonts, we have GUI, and I'm gonna call this UI. And we have the mini icon and the mini flag. We have the result box, and we have the 2 frames. I'm not sure why. All right, so we have the coin. I wish I could press cursor down. We have the flag. We have the result box, which I believe might not even be needed. We have the screen frame, and with the, hey, this is with the things, and we're probably gonna re-extract that and just the empty screen frame, right? And then we have the buttons, and I'm just gonna copy over the buttons as is. Because we have the X for close, we have the fish button, the music off and on, the pause, the play, the settings, the sound off and on, right? So then we have the icon. And the icon, maybe I should look at the assets before copying them and not after copying them. So icon, and that is just the fish icon, gigantic, right? And then we have a tool that crops it. And actually I have a 3-layer version, because on tvOS you can wiggle it, and I have the background layer, the coin and bubble layer, and the fish, and wow, that looks good. I have to show you, but my Apple TV is not hooked up to the stream. So we're gonna copy over the icon, right? Icon, then we have the music. And then we have the music, which is the theme music, right? And I'm doing it again. So, music we couldn't preview, right? Wrong window, icon, obstacles. So we have the blocks. I want the block for testing purposes, right? So we're going to copy that over. We're going to copy over the rocks with the collision data, but we're just going to redo that. We have the seaweed, which has a ton of, I can't scroll here, but has a ton. It's basically maybe bonus, right? Bonus to do bonus animate seaweed in code, right? Because that's just a sinus. So might be multi-layer sinus, but to me it looks like it's just a sine wave at the top that fades out to the bottom, right? At least it looks like it to me. So seaweed, and seaweed probably also, and there's a lot of seaweed, and we have different kinds of seaweed with some frame animations, right? We're gonna see that. And the seaweed doesn't have colliders. That is interesting. So I'm just gonna copy, okay. I'm just gonna copy the whole obstacles over, right? And then in the rocks we had the XML, which I'm just gonna delete real quick. And then we have pickups, and we have the, wait, I'm doing it again, remind me. Thank you. We have the pickups. We have the coin, which is just a... I just did that in Blender real quick, and probably you could use a 3D model, but we have the coin. We have the coin in blue for the coin rain. We have the coin in green for the coin fountain. Explain later, and we have the magnet, right? All just very simple, just drag and blend it. Maybe I recreate them on the stream just for fun, right? But these are the pickups, and we definitely want just all of them. And then we have the sounds, right? And the sound bank is interesting because it says, hey, how many instances do I need? Let's see how, do we have, oh, add music, add sound effects, right? As effects. And for now, and again, this is just how it's converted. So I'm going to create a folder sound. And you could argue this structure, the naming is wrong or not good enough or should be different, but we just want to redo the old game, right? So I think I think I want to copy that over. I think I want to copy this over and in this folder, aka assets, I mean, there's no license file, right? Don't use my assets. Thank you. Hey there. Hey there. So I think, I mean, we still have the zones, right? I'm not sure where the zones come from. So zone is basically binary format, and we never had this is all the zones we have, right? And actually there is marketing screenshot. Wait, I want to check something real quick. We had a special zone. Hey, Uncle Scientist, haven't seen you in a long time. Well, I've been the one offline, so welcome back. We just started a new project, so these zones, these new zones, right? Actually, there's more data here, right? In Fiiish data. I don't know how this ended up here. So this is all converted data, right? But shape files are collision shapes, animations. So, okay. So content is source, right? Content is clean content in our project. Assets is whatever we get from artists and might need cleanup, and data is what's used at runtime, right? And we have this zones here, which are just binary files. We have the background again, which is just copied. We have shape files, which is a collision shape. We have, this just says, hey, by the way, this texture is in this atlas, don't bother, right? We have the game atlas, so everything is in 1 or 2 or 3 files. So I hope the engine will do that, whatever we... DOS 6.2. Well, it's Midnight Commander, right? But it's the most efficient way to move files around. So I hope the engines will just... Oh, that here is a scratch on my screen. Oh, my screen is broken. My screen is breaking up. Oh, pixel loss. So these atlases will be generated by the by the editor engine, I hope. Pack list is basically all the files that we need. This is the font, and this is basically, it's hard to see, but this is the font in different sizes, basically distance. We're not going to do font handling, right? More textures, more textures, more textures, tons of textures and collision shapes, textures, 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 and the audio. And that is dependent on the platform. For example, iOS plays MP3 files natively, so we use MP3. But then for Linux builds, we didn't have an MP3 player, so we use OGG for size reasons, right? But also, I expect the engine to do that. Now it's just some files, so the zones, right? We were talking about the zones. We were talking, why? We were talking about the zones, so this makes me a bit sad. But I'm just going to copy over the binary zones, right? The binary zones over here, because I know we have a zone loader somewhere. So we have a zone loader, and that just reads U16 and stuff like this, right? So every object has this, and then every layer has multiple objects, and every zone has multiple layers with some magic numbers, and we're just gonna re-implement the freaking loader at that point. I mean, it's 160 cells, 160 lines of Rust, right? How hard can it be to re-implement that per engine? Maybe we just leave it in Rust, or maybe we write a tool that re-exports that Rust to JSON, or I don't know yet. What I do know is I don't want to lose the zones, right? Because that was quite some work to get them feel right and look right. And so I think I want to look at that screenshot from 2021 real quick, just out of curiosity. Oh, so that was one of those auto-generated screenshots, right? I think that was the one that was in the store, and I believe there's a white line that I never realized. So, and Stream just had overlays, right? Oh, wow, my goodness. And workflow was a lot of cooking and packing data. And for example, cooking converted the assets, the content to data, following these rules, right? Oh, bad example, bad example. These rules, right? But we don't need to bother with that because the editor will do that for us. What else? Then we had pack data, which did some magic and created the base pass output pack list music, and then if you had music awk, music was awk, and then we had combinations, and then we included files or excluded files as needed, and then called the packer, right? Which basically took all those files and created a pack file of it. And I think Godot does something similar. Unity asset packs might be similar too. Then we had something that just packaged the app, right? But we don't need any of that. Lots of scripting, how to get an app combined on Mac. On Windows, I never got that far because I never understood how to package an app for Windows. Then releases on itch automatically. We automated that with GitHub Workflows for RRS, right? Watch the old streams from last year. So the pre-rolls are off for 3 more minutes, so I'm gonna press F10, and this was just Midnight Commander, right? This was just Midnight Commander. We are in the Git folder, so I'm just gonna add the assets and just say, and okay. I'm gonna have to go black real quick because I'm not sure if it shows a work project. And yes, it does. Let me fix that real quick. Ooh, my clients would not be happy about this, so sorry for that. So this here, right? To-do file updates are always for free. And then we added lots of assets, right? And so it was S01, episode 01, add assets from Fiiish RS aka V2. It's 15 megabytes. Otherwise, I would consider compressing them, and because they will be in the. So when you first add an asset to the, usually it goes like this. Oh, artist gives you uncompressed asset, you add it to the repository, and then realize hey, that could have been optimized, right? So you have the origin 09, not 9. So you have the original file in there with the 18 gigabytes of emptiness, and then compress it down to 20 megabytes, and everybody who checks out the repository has to. So before your first push, check the file size. The thing is, this was already optimized, right? So we don't need this, but if you add big files to the repository, do yourself a favor, on the first commit, compress them. And I probably even would go as far as maybe, I use graphics magic, not image magic, but maybe, I'm not sure why the auto compilation is not working. I think GM is git merge and not graphics magic, so right, so the WebP is 96K, and can we actually, so backgrounds, right? So this is 500K, and this is 96K, right? The old engine didn't support WebP. I will add that. I said I'm gonna work on Amalgam. There, maybe we do a bit of research, use other formats, but WebP seems to be the most promising right now because the loss in quality. I mean, do you see a difference here? There is some slight variance in detail here, but it's also 20% of the size, so maybe playing with it. So we're gonna delete this file again, and then we're gonna commit the assets, right? So on the first commit, take extra care to compress the assets. Once it's in the repository, it's in there, right? You're gonna rebase one unstaged file. Oh, I'm just gonna amend the previous commit, right? And then I'm gonna push this. And you see it's all here. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. I have a plan. 1 minute to go, so hey, 1 minute. Let's use that 1 minute to, yeah. And once this is done in about 1 second, okay. Here we are again. That looks better. Ad break is over. Thanks. I have a preview screen with where Twitch messages me, but thanks for that. So we have a plan. We have the assets. let's make a game. And we actually downloaded Godot, and I'm gonna make a massive donation once this is so. Do I just drag this into applications, right? And then I probably, so I'm gonna keep these open. Actually, new screen, right? I'm not sure what this will do. It's an app downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to open it? Yes, I am. And it opened on the other screen. So full disclosure, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I haven't used Godot before. I watched about 10 hours worth of tutorials, so I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing here. Will this show my file browser? I'm clicking on this create project button here. Okay. So forward plus, forward rendering, supports. Can we zoom in here? No, we can't. Okay, I'm gonna browse to the right folder and then I'll be back with you. Yeah, it opened my home directory. Work. So I am in the Fiiish v3 folder and I'm gonna use the Godot folder in here, right? Select the current folder. We're not gonna create because it's in here, right? We call it Fiiish v3. Okay, forward rendering. We have to choose the renderer, right? That's radio buttons. So what do? Forward plus supports desktop platforms only. Well, no forward rendering on mobile? Okay, I want a mobile version, so forward plus is out, right? So mobile. Supports desktop and mobile, less advanced 3D. We're fine for this project. Less scalable for complex scenes. Our scenes are not complex. Uses rendering device backend. Whatever that means, fast rendering of simple scenes. The renderer can be changed later, but the scenes might need to be adjusted. Okay, I can live with that. Let's do a quick check. Compatibility, desktop, mobile, and web. Least advanced 3D, low and older, OpenGL 3, WebGL 2, fastest rendering. I think we're gonna go compatibility because I really want a web version of Fiiish, right? Let's do this. I mean, can be changed later. We're gonna disable Git. I think if we create folder, it will create a Fiiish v3 folder inside that Godot folder, but that is our project folder, right? So I'm just gonna, and it opened on the other screen. Okay. So, guess this is our scene view here, which currently has no root node. Our resources, okay. Our editor, inspector, node, and history. Oh, a global. Oh, I love that when you see when you've been what you've been doing, right? Global history in editors, in any kind of editor is amazing. What the hell did I just do? Even if you slip and press the wrong button or shortcut. So, okay, I guess these are the run the project. I mean, we don't have a scene now, so I just pause and stop. Okay, pause the current, stop it. Remote debugger, play the current scene. Okay, for testing, if I want to, okay, run a specific scene and enable movie maker. Oh, nice. Nice. And this is the rendering engine, right? Okay. And then we have the different views, right? The 2D view, which we probably will use a lot. 3D. It has an included script editor, which is nice, and the asset lib we ignore, right? Okay. Editor settings, probably a lot, right? We gonna ignore those for the moment. Scene, okay, is the current scene. Project. So from what I've learned, and again, all my Godot knowledge is 10 hours of YouTube videos. Thanks, Spacetime. Hey there. From what I understood, they have this integrated thing which is called GDScript, and it looks a lot like Python, to be honest. But using Rust as a scripting language, integrating Rust seemed to be pretty straightforward. They have this plugin system, I believe, and you can basically very simply use a Rust library as a plugin and then just call Rust from. And there's this Rust Godot native. Yeah, so there's this. I'm not sure it says Rust 3, but oh, GDX. Okay. So Rust bindings for, so you can use Rust if you want to, but I think for the time being, we stick with the integrated scripting language, right? Fiiish v3, the scene we want to run, which we're going to create. 1152 by 648. I mean, it's resizable, right? So let's see, maybe it pops up on the wrong screen, which is nice for me if I develop alone, but I want you to see what I'm doing. So let's see how that is going. Mode, stretch mode will be interesting, right? I think. Oh yeah, that's nice, right? You just hover over the settings and it tells you what it will do. Because we have this virtual screen height, which was always 1024 for Fiiish, right? To get this endless stretching that let's just git just R. Is this the right project? So I want this to work again, right? So you can play in any resolution. That's important. I mean, if you want to play, you can play in 4K width by 16 pixels height, right? If that's what you want, okay, but you could also play in ultra high and very narrow. Playability will suffer a bit, but at least, I mean, something like, I don't know, ultra wide screen to phone device and phone, well, sideways phone, right? Square device, something like this range should work. So that stretch mode will be very interesting, but I'm not going to touch any of that at the moment, right? And then you have can keep the aspect, oh, keep width and keep height, and okay, so that will be interesting too. Wow, no descriptions available. That's sad. And we have a scale and a scale mode. Orientation is landscape. Okay, fair. VSync mode. Mouse cursors. I think I will not touch anything for the moment, right? I mean, we might add some render layers at some point. Maybe we add physics layers for... No, we don't. Oh, maybe we have one for the fish and one for the obstacles, right? Um, so we don't have any navigation. We don't have any avoidance. Okay. We need input mapping. I mean, we have one button, right? That's the dive button. We don't worry about localization for the moment. Globals, I think, is Godot's way of using singletons. Plugins, we can probably install plugins or just create a new one. And okay. So I really want to press this button, but for that we need a scene, right? Because we don't have a scene. So I would say in our to-do, this is done, right? We are here, right? We are in setup base project. And okay, how do we do this? I mean, do you see this thin blue purplish line? I think that is the screen, right? So how about we just dummy this up, right? How about, okay, minimal setup, right? The first thing is the fish, but I don't want, okay. Wait, what did I just do? Okay, let's create a scene, right? Let's call this scene, how do we, let's call this scene game, right? This is where the actual game is happening, and I want the UI on a different layer. Layer is not the right word, but in a different thing. And I think scenes are the way to structure this, and we want to, so it's not a user interface, that's the other thing, right? So user interface, and it's not 3D, so let's call it game. Let's keep this clean. I want to create a folder, and probably some of my old forgotten Unity knowledge will leak through and I will make a mess, but that's why we do this, right? Can I just, okay. And now if I press play and select the current scene, okay. I mean, basic project setup done, right? Oh, okay. Can I Command Q? Yes, I can. Okay, so this is my game scene, right? I want this to be blue. So right click is the context menu, and I think I want to add a child node, right? And now it begins. Whoa, but at least, I mean, I still have PTSD from Unity where you say add and then have this pop-up context menu thing. We will go there tomorrow. I mean, we don't want Node 3D, right? Because we're in to do. It's nice, it's blue. So we don't want any red. We don't want any green, so animated sprite, audio. So there's a lot of nodes, right? Wow. Probably it's probably gonna be a parallax layer, right? Oh, experimental, nice. Not gonna, maybe it's just a sprite. Is it just a sprite? Let's just use a sprite, right? We have a sprite. So we have a sprite and that needs a texture. So let's create a folder. Let's call it textures. And let's create a folder and call it backgrounds. Backgrounds. Right? And I believe so. If we go into Godot, we have texture. It's just file system, right? So if we just I'm not sure I should be doing this, right? But Godot, textures, backgrounds. What if I just, and this is not blue, right? This is gray. So we're starting with the most complicated thing we can find. Well, be my guest. Oh, so this is a texture, right? I hope this is a texture. Is the compressed texture 2D? And there's, I guess, Okay, I can create new ones. I could load or quick. What's the difference? I wonder. Okay. Okay. I like this. I like this. This is, hey, this is working. I just put a texture in the game. I mean, probably shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, but what if I just... Does this have Command B? Okay, so you're gonna see me press Command B a lot, right? Okay. I mean, let's ignore the scaling and everything, right? That's something for later us, because remember the plan is to do the background at, oops, the background at very much later. And right now it's just base project. So I have the background on a sprite. I like this. So I wonder if, okay, so this is connected to, okay. What I would normally do is now I would push this to the other screen, right? And then say, okay, what happens if it moves. It doesn't, wait, let me, is there top? Oh, it's showing me the, always on top. Let's try this again. Okay, so I go to the remote and you can see I can edit it live. That's nice. And I guess if we animate it via script, I also get the feedback. Okay, probably the transform, right? I can watch that live if I attach a script. Shall we just have a bit of fun? Okay. So, I'm gonna regret doing this. So what if okay, we have this attached script here, which is this button here. Is the, and I'm making a mess, right? Because I'm just saving, I just saved it in the scene. So this is Godot script, right? And I'm not sure if I can, oh, I can make the editor larger for you. So we have the process, right? And I guess that is the update function. And not a fan of programming languages that use indentation for, but okay. So we have self. Self is us, right? And I guess we have a transform here, so it's probably, oh, it's lowercase. And then it's position, right? So origin. Dot x. Oh, I am going to hell for this. Well, semicolon. Oh, background moves. And that was too easy. And if I go here now, that's what I wanted to test. Oh yeah, you see it's updating the position. I'm not sure why it's called position here and origin here, but hey, we're animating our background. It's scrolling in the wrong direction, but I mean, can we live update the script? Oh, oh my God. Oh my goodness. That, mind blown. I mean, you know, try to do this in Unity. You we're gonna do that tomorrow when we do the background in Unity. I mean, obviously, our first Godot script. I mean, it's we're gonna do this in Unity, and probably this changing this plus to minus will need a reboot of the machine. I mean, I I wow. I, I I had very very high hopes for Godot, but this iteration speed, imagine to get to that screen, I have to click through 17 sub menus and then beat the first boss and select the upgrade and beat the second boss. And then I go like, oh, this should have been a minus instead of a plus. You just fix it and continue your work. Oh my goodness. And and you know what else? Time from pressing this button to having the window move. I mean, that's a second, two. Wow. When I started to work with Rust and went through the first half hour of what the hell am I doing, and my hello world was working, and I did quite a complex. I think I did actually it was a Fiiish converter. I rewrote from Ruby in Rust. It's like yes, and I have this feeling now. It's it's yes, please, yes, please. Oh my goodness! I'm gonna. Can I just delete this? Remove them anyway. Um, did I just did I just delete that script? Did I just okay? Oh, it's because it's still open in the editor. It was still oh, I didn't wait. What? I didn't save, right? And if I don't save, where is this? Okay, now it's gone. Now it's gone, and oh, did I just press save? And here it's yeah. Um, it doesn't exist anymore. I think the editor here is still okay. Fair enough. Do I have shortcuts for this? Do I have shortcuts for this? I'm gonna look up the shortcuts later. So I don't want this, right? So we have our game. Can we actually, yeah, background, right? I want to add a second sprite. Add child node. Oh, can I? Oh, full keyboard navigation. So, Fiiish, right? Okay, this is gonna get ugly, but what if? I'm not sure why I'm doing uppercase here. I probably shouldn't. Let's copy the full swim in here. Can I do this? Oh, I can, and then I have the fish here. Oh, and I click here, and I click here, and it keeps this selected, so I have the, oh. Okay, so let's take the, and it has a, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is, Unity, please steal all those features. Can I just, can I just? I mean, what's this? 20 minutes? Half an hour? I mean, I'm gonna time the installation of Unity tonight, but I guess, wow. And what I can do, no, this is local, right? I have to go to remote. I wonder. This makes me happy. This makes me happy. I mean, we want it to be roughly here, right? I I just have to. I just have to. I'm making a mess here, but so on process. I'm going to do this very lightweight, right? If input dot I like the auto completion because is key pressed. Is key pressed. Key code, key space. Then, okay, we had self dot transform dot y. Not gonna do this, right? It's indent based, right? So could it parse error? Line 11, expected colon after condition. I think this is a condition, so this? After else, okay, so operands. Oh no, it was origin, right? Let me make the numbers big. Oh, I didn't need to restart, but let me make the numbers bigger here. Yes, I'm hammering my keyboard here, but oh my goodness. Oh my frickin'. I want to see something here. Look at this number here. Okay, so the... Oh my goodness. It just works. Okay, I want to... Okay. We're in basic project setup, right? I want, oh, I remembered that. What's the difference? Canvas items, the base size specified in width and height in the project settings. So that's that number here, right? Width. Yeah, it's this, right? The base size, okay, the base size. I'm reading the canvas item here, right? I can't point at it. The base size specified is stretched to cover the whole screen. That means everything is rendered directly at the target resolution. 3D is unaffected, while in 2D there's no longer a one-on-one correspondence. Scaling. viewport. So that's canvas, right? I cannot. I mean, it's nice that there's a scroll bar here, but okay. Viewport. The size of the root viewport is set precisely to the base size specified. The scene is rendered first and then is scaled to the screen, taking stretch and aspect into account. Okay, so one renders pixel perfect, I guess, to a texture and then copies, and the other, I don't really. Okay, I want a height of 1024, right? And 16 by 9. I should know these numbers by head, from my head, right? Is 1820. This should result in a 16 by 9 window, right? So what if I resize this now? Oh, okay. This is very close to what we want. Let's go to remote here, fish. Where did my inspector go? So again, I want to look at this y. So this is 0, right? And the bottom of the screen should be exactly 1024. I guess it's the upper bit of the fish. And that stays true independent of scaling, right? The thing is, I don't want black bars, but can I? I mean, we're deep into, I don't know, very, very late setup, but if it is this easy, right? So what if I do viewport here? It looks the same to me. And then aspect. I wish there was an explanation here. Open documentation. Thank you. Was a nice try, right? So ignore, I guess, will just squish it. Yeah, it will just munch it up, right? So ignore is bad. Keep widths is probably the opposite of what we want to do, right? Okay, I think I want both, right? Keep height is fixed height but dynamic widths. Okay, and what is... I'm just playing with these anyway, right? I have no idea what I'm doing here. And what if... Oh, expand is what I want, right? I wonder if you could center the background some way, but it's using the full screen now for the fish, right? So if I go very tall, okay, that's not good, right? I have to have the inspector open if I want to. Actually, let me check something real quick. Is there a remote? Um, Where was this on top setting? Always on top was in the window. Is there a... I wonder if there is a debug settings, call stack, run. Wow. Application run. I would love to... Oh wait, is that maybe an editor setting? Editor, remote, debug, adapter, auto switch to remote scene tree. Is that? Oh, nice. So it's automatically in this view, right? So let's keep, I wish I had a pause button, but nope. Oh, so it's down here. So if I make this very tall, I mean, apart from the fact that top is always 0, right? So top here, here, top is always 0. I want the bottom to be 1024, right? We're going deep into, I have no clue what I'm doing here land now, but I'm having fun with this. So window, what if we go back to canvas here? Okay, so I think we want to go with the keep height because we want the virtual screen. Right, can we do that? It said that I have to toggle here once. Okay. So I want this. I want... No. We're getting too deep into this right now, right? So I'm gonna go back to keep. Neither is what I want, but I'm pretty sure this is good enough for now, right? This is... We'll figure it out. But this is close enough, right? So this is the fish. And this is a fish. Should we just... I mean, setup-based project is far. I expected more work there, right? That's why I'm playing around. But I don't want to go too deep into this. So can we just Command A, okay? We have an animated sprite 2D, right? Node configure sprite frames resource must be created or set in the sprite frames property. Can I just? No. So we have sprite frames here, right? New. Oh, okay. So what if I just... Oh! I'm not sure. We have 26 frames, so maybe 15 FPS? I have no idea what the old game did. Go to state, get update swimming, time step, angle. I think the animated texture. Okay, we have an animated texture. On new, we have an animated texture. Where do we set the variables? Update. Setup. Okay. So first frame, last frame, frame rate. 25 for 27 frames. Makes sense. So can I... Wait. Okay, what? What if I make this into a scene, right? Fish scene. Okay, so we have the fish scene here, right? With the script on it. Copy. What if I change this type just to be node, right? Just node. Okay, and now I go here and take cut, go into the fish and paste it here. So I have the fish, which does the position movement, and the animated sprite, right? Which, so I think I broke it. Okay. Oh, okay, because our fish is not a sprite anymore, it's a node 2D, right? Okay, so that works, and this is an animated sprite now. And the animation is default. Why is this not... Why is this animation not playing? I was this start current scene, right? Okay, so the animation is not playing. But it's playing here. Oh, I have to save it, right? No. Can I rename this to swim, please? I can. So oh, so it's somehow... Oh, I pressed play here, right? I pressed play here. Can I? Can I auto start this? Entschuldigen Sie mich bitte. I mean, what if? What if? Ah, okay, that works. What if on ready? What if I say self.play? Oh wait, we're not in self, right? We're in animated sprite 2D. Couldn't I just it's dollar. Okay. This is the class and this is the instance, right? So if I rename this to, this is the instance name, right? Yeah, this is the instance name. Okay. Not sure. Can I just say play? What? Why don't I have autoplay in the? Why don't I have auto play in here? Can I just say this? Will this work? Oh. Invalid assignment. Okay. What if I just say play? String. Oh, nice. It auto completes to. Can I do that? Okay, I can do that. Congratulations, we have a swimming fish. We have a swimming fish. I'm tempted to just copy over. So we could create a script here, right? We could create a script here that says play swim, but I have the feeling we want just one script. And what I want to do also, can I add a new animation here? Can I? I'm not sure what I'm doing here. So how can I? Ah! Ah! Okay. Oh, can I just, no. Add frame from file, add frames from sprite sheet, copy frames. So, oh. Die. Dying, right? Dying, and then I go to textures and I didn't copy the dying in, right? What the? Okay, Godot textures, fish, and I'm just gonna copy the die in, right? And it's, I mean, we go to the same 25 FPS, and obviously it doesn't do anything, right? So what I can do, if I think this can be removed, right? Replace with function body. Okay, so this is just historic. If in input is key pressed, key K for kill, right? Then I want to kill the fish. So, I mean, what I just could do is I could just take this, right? And play the dying animation. So, swim, 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 K kill, fish dies. Obviously the floating up, so I need a state, right? So, am I going too far? Am I going too far? I mean, the basic project setup is kind of done, right? Am I going too far? Yes, I am, but so the fish has basically four states, right? So can we just GD script enum GD script reference enum named brackets thing. Okay, so that is Pascal case, and that is caps. So we want player state. We call it fish state, and we just call it state, right? Enum state. And we have waiting for start. Swimming, 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 dying, and dead, right? I don't want to do state machines, but, and then probably it's var state of type state equals state dot, let's say we're starting swimming for the moment, right? Let's ignore the start logic. And then we say down here, do we have a match case? Match expression pattern block. Match self.state state.swimming. Can I do this? Is this the pattern block? And then I do all of this and say self.state equals state dot dying, right? Can I do this? And if the state is dying, why is this not auto-completing? And then I say I go up, right? And y is, and then I go up very fast, right? Will this work? Okay, I swim, I kill, and the fish goes out of bounds, right? So if self.transform.origin.y is smaller than, I don't know, minus 100, then self.state equals state.dead, right? And we're gonna do some magic here, right? If state is dead, and I press space, I set myself to the middle of the screen and set the state to state swimming, right? So I swim. To be implemented. I kill so I can't swim anymore. I'm dead now. Oh, I need to... Okay, I need to play the swim. And we want middle of the screen, right? So I swim, I kill, I'm dead, I press space, I'm swimming again. Waiting for start, I mean, okay, waiting for start. State dot waiting for start, right? Waiting for start if key is I'm a bit worried about bouncing here. I'm a bit worried about bouncing here, right? So let's make the default state waiting for start. We're waiting for start. We start to swim. We kill. We're dead. And I instantly go into swimming again, right? So key, do we have a key released? Probably was key released, right? Yes, key. I mean, right? We swim. Oh, that means instant swimming, right? Can we just okay. I mean, it's good enough, right? What I really want is okay. What if we have a state respawning, right? What if we have a state respawning and then we say if state respawning, right? So this sets to the middle, sets to respawning swim, and this does basically nothing, but I have to let go to get from respawning to waiting for start, right? A bit hacky, but we're learning, right? So I can swim up and down with the space key. I press K to kill the fish. Fish is gone. I hold space, nothing happens. I let go of space, nothing happens. I hold space again, I'm swimming again. Full game loop implemented. Full game loop implemented. I mean, wow. That was easy. So here's one thing I want to do, right? We're going far too far. I think we have the G version here, right? Yes, that's what we do. We're going to do G or U or X for done, right? And G is definitely done. Basic movement is next, but we want to do the basic Unity project setup, and I'm going to take a little break and then we continue with a basic product setup, right? Be right back. So, quick note from future me. Sadly, at this point, I forgot to unmute my microphone, and it's been so long ago now that I actually forgot what I was talking about. So I'm just gonna fast forward over that part, and hopefully, back then me will be able to explain what was going on. Sorry about that. Stuff happens. Oh, I forgot to unmute. Thank you, Tron versus Flynn. Ah, well, first time in 2 months, and we forget to unmute the microphone, right? So what we just did is we changed the local coordinate system and decided not to go Unity right now. We do Unity tomorrow. I still have to run the installer and we'll probably run that download for 2 hours. So, and then we went into process. It's called every frame, right? Once per frame, while physics process is probably called during the physics processing. So it's stable delta, right? And that's what we want. Can I get back to my script? So we probably want to do everything in physics process instead. And well, maybe because key handling we want to do once per frame, but updating we want to do in physics process, right? So what we're gonna do is let's have a second enum, right? Let's have an enum direction. Direction up, float, neutral, hover, and down, right? And then we have a var direction is direction. We're going far too far here, right? I didn't even want to neutral, right? And here we say, basically we do the same. We're going to clean this up later, but probably have some state machine. So up here, once per frame, right? If key is pressed, self dot direction equals direction down, right? That's all. Else direction is up. If we're swimming, there is just nothing, right? If we press K, we kill. That's the same, right? If we're dying, actually, we do nothing, right? Can we do this or will this break? Okay, so if we're dead, we do this. This is all fine, right? So, and here now we say match self dot direction. And if it matches direction up, right? Up, then we do this. If it matches direction down, we do this. And if it matches direction neutral, then we do nothing. We don't do any key handling here. If we're dying, we go up until we're dead. If we're dead, we do nothing. If we're respawning, if we are respawning, still getting used to that, right? So, and this will, and same here, right? Just to flag that we use them, that we. I wish there was an empty block or something like that, right? So, in the process, we update the inputs and nothing else. And in the physics process, we update the physics simulation. So nothing should have changed. Yeah, nothing should have changed, but if is key pressed, we're going down, otherwise we're going up. We mixed up, down, and up here, right? If you're going down, we go plus. If you're going up, we go minus. So that still works. If I press K, I'm killed. Obviously, the 0 check doesn't work, and our respawn is wrong, right? Because if I respawn at origin 0, 0. And actually, let's look at the fish, right? We have the update dying. Okay, time since dying is the rotation. This is the angle that we get from it. But basically, this is the limit, right? Copied straight from the old code. So if we are dying, and we're smaller than this, that's the old code, right? Then we're waiting for respawn. Killed, float up, die, respawn. Right? And what I want to do here, I want to do a update physics process swimming, right? We're going far too far here, but basically here we say, can we just say physics process swimming delta, right? And just do this here. This should be fine, right? It compiles, and then we have a dying, and dying, and then we do the same here, right? We do it dying, and we do it dying, right? And then we can probably, let's just make this a bit more readable. We should do the same for up here, but I'm more worried about this, right? So let's do the dying completely. So we don't need to update the texture because that's done by the system. We ignore the X movement for the time being because that's transforming the world in the X coordinate. We count up the time since dying, right? So we have a float time since dying. We probably should just have an animated prop. Do I want to use an animation for the turning of the fish? Can we do that? Now we have an animation player. We have an animation here, right? Current animation is stop. How do I create a new animation? How do I... This is an animation player, right? How do I create a new... Or do I need an... Do I need an animation tree as well? No root animation node for the graph is set. No. Okay, delete works. So animation player, right? How do I create a new oh, let's say dying, right? Okay. Property of the fish. Okay. Rotation. Open, right? And then I right click. Is this is in seconds, right? Seconds. Okay. So, okay. Time since dying times 128. So this is the going up, right? So it goes up by, let's do the angle first. Okay. It rotates by 60 degrees per second and it limits to minus 90. So over the course of 1.5 seconds, we want to rotate by 90 degrees, right? So over the course of 1.5 seconds, can we somehow show this in frames? Oh, probably doesn't make any sense, right? We insert a key here. We move to 1.5. We insert a key here, and I want this here, the rotation, to be minus 90, right? I probably could have just pressed, this looks like a key here, right? So if I save this, and I go, this will need getting used to, right? If I get back to the animation, but wait, this keyframe here, fish rotation is 0, right? I drag this. Didn't I just set this to minus 90? Oh, do I have to press the key again? So if I play this animation, the fish turns up, right? Dying animation, blend tree. So, okay. So obviously, oh, that's easy, right? That's easy. That's easy. So when I switch to dying, right? Dying, I take the animation player and say play dying, right? That's easy. So I swim, I kill, and it goes down. Why does it go down? I mean, the stay I press kill, right? So I'm in state dying. Oh, maybe in state dying, I should process state dying, right? So kill, not perfect yet, it's obviously. Okay, when I go to respawn, right? And I'm gonna do, I'm pretty sure we could link these reset, right? Does this work? So swim, kill. I'm not happy. Did you see that jump? Hmm. So that's the rotation, right? And I'm running out of time for today. We set this 3 hour mark, but that's the rotation. And that works, right? The rotation works nicely, and the respawn kind of. So what if in our animation here, what if you had a new animation? Respawn, right? And that had a track, property track, fish, okay, rotation, open, and that is 1 second long. And just at the end, we have a keyframe, right? In that keyframe, and that keyframe is 0. And here we say respawn. That means over the course of 1 second, it should rotate to where it's supposed to be, right? That's how I read that. So killed, swimming up. I'm gonna remove this for the moment. Oh, why don't we put the up movement in the animation too? Then we can do fancy stuff like growing, going smaller. What if you have the animation dying, right? And add a track, property, fish, position. And I insert a key here. I'm not sure why. Ah, that's why it glitched, right? That's why it glitched. And then I go to 1.5. I'm pretty sure there's a jump to end, and insert a key here, but where's my animation? It's on the player. Why is there a line in between here and not here? So I wanted to move to, so 1.5 seconds for the full rotation, right? And then we say once it's 512 plus 128, and it rotates by this, right? So, okay. I could just eyeball it, but so 192 per second, right? And then we want I mean, I could also just, so we want to move it 640. So 640 by 192 is 3.3 seconds, right? After 3.3 seconds, it will be dead. So let's make this 3.33 seconds. That means this goes here, right? And I hope this will just keep the old value. So if I go here, and then I want to be at 640, right? So y is minus 640. It, I'm sure I didn't save that. So I'm not sure why this is not at 0. So this is 0, right? And it didn't save. Oh, I have to. Do I have to? What? Oop. I. Why? Can I? These are two different keys, right? Insert key at 0. Why? I mean, this is how, right? This is nearest, and this is clamp. I'm not sure. So for the rotation, it works, right? For the rotation, it works. It's not this. Oh, is there a? Where is this key? Ah. So this is 0. What am I? Minus 640. Huh? This is the rotation, right? Oh, something I'm not getting here. So the rotation works, right? Then I go here and I want minus 640. Why can't I? Okay. I want to wait for the animation to finish, but that's good. That now we're getting here. Right, so wait. Ah, hash. This is fully animated now. We can do whatever we want, but obviously we now have the problem that we never reach this place, so we need to check. Can we do something? So I read something, so Can we await this? Does it work like this? Because then we don't have to do anything here, right? Does it? I'm not sure if oh, trying to return a value of the method that returns null. Okay. So that's not how it works. Okay, so let's not do it like this and hack with systems we don't understand. So if we're dying, I mean, maybe we don't need physics here, right? Maybe, because we have a state dying here, right? Maybe we don't do anything here. Maybe we go here and say animation finished, and we connect that to the script here, right? We say match anim name dying print finished dying. I missed the ad break. I missed the ad break. That's why we go too long. So finish dying, and when we're finished dying, basically what we wanted to do, we just set the state to dead, right? So we make it all animation triggered. I'm not sure if that's the way you do it in Godot, but we're dying, we're dying, we're dying, we're dying. We're finished with dying, and we can respawn. Nice. Nice. So here's the second thing, right? We're respawning. So I'm setting the origin to 0. So maybe we don't, right? Maybe we don't. We have a respawning animation now, right? We have a respawn animation. Let's actually set the state here. We don't do this, right? We have the animation. Respawn, we add a new track for the property of the fish, the position. Right, and wherever we are at the end, at the I'm not sure. Shouldn't this be here? I insert the key. I go to the fish. Inspector. So if I go here, right, nothing happens. But if I go here and take the fish, why? Okay, so I swim, I die. It starts, I respawn and it jumps. So, okay, multiple problems, right? I have the animation here. I have the dying animation. I just want to cut this key, right? Can I animate from wherever I am towards where I should be? I would like to blend. Yeah, and now it jumps away because there's no keyframe, right? And then so we I'm considering, what if we add a child node here that's just a node. We have to transform, right? This is the physics thing we want to. Okay. What if we add a node 2D here, right? Call it animated animated offset, right? Put everything under this. Put everything under this, just thinking out loud. I'm not sure if our script still works, so we're animating the wrong thing, right? Oh, we broke something. Play a null instance. Okay, so because this path now changed, right? Because this path now is but we have this access unique, right? And then we can, okay. So we need to replace all of these with, yes, watching all those videos this week helped a lot, right? So, okay, we're dying. Obviously, we messed that up too because the animation player has exactly the same problem. I hope this is just local, right? My guess is this is just local. So the idea is we animate, we control and code our root node, and the animation controls the offset of that, right? So it's kind of working again. So now our animation here for dying, right? Can I delete that track? Yeah. So no, for dying, right? I want to add a track, a property track for the animation offset, right? The position of that. And when I'm dying, to insert a key at 0, and at the very end, right, I go to the transform here, add a position, and now I need to add more than the screen, right? So 640 is not enough because the screen is 1024, so I need to at least, so what if I subtract 1200 here and then keyframe that, right? Then, so that's step 1, right? So when I'm dying, Dying at the very bottom. Ooh, we have the rotation on the other node, so that is applied first, so we need the rotation on, move the rotation to that other node as well, right? So this here, I cannot, that's that, 1.5 seconds minus 90, right? So I add a new property, track, animation offset. I would have loved to move that track, right? So we have the rotation. We keyframe it here. Wait, that is the rotation. Oh, no, 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 no. This is the rotation, right? So I add a keyframe here, go to 1.5 seconds roughly. It doesn't really matter. Set this to minus 90 and keyframe that. All right, so I kill, it swims up, and when it's finished, okay. So now I have the problem, the other animation in the respawn, right? We just kill these two tracks. Let's say 1 second respawn. We add a track for the animated offset. Well, animated offset rotation, right? And at 1 second, we want to be rotation 0. Right, so play this. I die, finish dying, and the position is not fixed, right? Because our position offset here, our position offset for our animated offset here is minus 1000. So we need to animate that as well. So we add a track, property track, animated offset. Name is bad. Open that, go here, set this to 0, insert the keyframe, right? And finish dying. That respawn. Oh, we don't have a keyframe, right? So what if the fish swims in from the left side on the respawn? Going a bit off script here, but what if for position, all right, we say X is, I don't know, minus 1200. We keyframe this. We kill the fish. We respawn it. It's a bit fast, but come on. We swim. We kill the fish. Finish dying. We respawn it. Because the thing is, it might be, I mean, once we get this to work, right? We kill the fish. It finished dying. We respawn it. I like this. It could even do loopings and stuff if we wanted to. We don't want to. We don't want to. I'm gonna do one more thing, right? Because when we're up here and we kill, the finish dying takes a very long time. So we're gonna re-add the on dying, right? So what if, can I do this? I kill and I pause. I swim. Oh, I kill and I pause. There's still some bugginess in there, but it's getting there, right? I pause. Just move this off screen. So this is the fish, right? This is the fish. This is where we swam. And we still need to reset that on respawn. This is our animated offset. Can I get the global position for this? Can I? Okay, so when we respawn, we do set this, right? What I want to do is print dying. Can I do percent %s? Is this Python style? Expected statement found indent instead. Oh, I hate indent-based languages. Did I mention that? So global. Okay, so that's the global position of the. We want the global position of the animated sprite, right? Well, maybe not even that, but so that is now global position is obviously not relative to our game, so our whole we probably just add a collider later. But the thing is, as soon as this is this is smaller than 0, right? AKA off screen. We do this, and then the animation finishes, so we have to say all right, so the problem is we're up here. Oh. Yes, obviously. Use colliders or something for this. We're just hacking away today. So we finish dying off screen and then we get a finish dying animation, right? So if we get a finish dying animation, if self.zatata state not equals state dot dying, oh, then otherwise we just ignore it, right? We only want to die once. We only want to die once. So dying off screen, and we respawn, and we die instantly off screen, and we respawn. That's much nicer, right? And if we're at the very bottom, we swim up, we die, and we respawn. There's gonna be UI and stuff in between, so I'm not too worried about the details here. But, well, I think, I thought we're gonna have a background by this time, but we have an animated fish that kind of swims, so I still wonder how we do the virtual height thing for good, because that will... That will be interesting. So, what I'm gonna do, create a Unity account, install Unity Hub, install a Unity version, instantiate a minimal mobile project just to see that the compiler is working. And then tomorrow we get Unity to this point. So one more thing, right? Wait. Project export. Okay. No export use. Manage export templates. Download and install. Okay, here it's getting big. To be fair, Unity downloads all of that probably when you install it. So now it's going to tell me, okay, I just want to see. I mean, oh, that's the old project. Godot export web. Open. Sorry for this. I want to be sure I open the right browser, and it was the wrong browser, but on the other screen. So okay, this would have been too easy, right? Let's. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. Incognito window. Sorry, I have to do it this way. I have to do it this way. Failed to fetch. Well, okay, so it's not a... It's not a... We're gonna do this really quick, right? Load fetch, cross origin, cost request, oh, go.html test locally. We probably We probably need a web server. I'm not happy about doing this. I am not happy about doing this, but serving on port 80, and the file is Fiiish v3. So can we just go to localhost http colon? I mean, here's the thing. Course doesn't solve a single problem. It just creates a ton of problems. But oh, I mean, I mean, not bad, right? Not bad. Okay, so that works. Nice. I want to test something else. So what if we do a Mac OS version? Can't export for universal ARM if etc AST enabled in rendering textures VRAM. Okay. Project rendering. Oh, rendering textures. Huh? I'm not sure why it needs. I mean, it could just. Opened on the wrong screen again. Now this was perfect timing. Let's. Nope. Project export, Mac OS. Notarization bundle identifier is net omnimat games Fiiish v3 GD for Godot, right? Notarization, code signing, export project. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Nope, that's the web. 60 megabytes. And that's working too. And I could do Windows and Linux, but I just assume Windows support is even better and Linux support probably too. So, and I'm not going to go into Android at this moment. So thing is, this is 60 megabytes, right? What is the web version like? 44, which is still pretty big. I mean, yeah. Okay. Okay, what I want to do is I don't want any of these to ever show up in the repository by accident. So set up basic project. Let's go over the to-do real quick. I mean, technically this is in progress, right? Add fish and basic movement. We're far further than basic movement, but let's see if we can catch up Unity to this level tomorrow without going crazy. Untracked files, so assets, Godot, I need to create a git ignore. So we want to stage this and this and this and the background. Do I have to add this? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to do this from the command line. I have no idea. We need to clean this up. I'm not sure. So more project setup. Basic fish animation and control, right? Wow. I mean, wow. Mind blown. Tomorrow Unity work, but for today, I mean, can you, did you think we're gonna get here with, this is too easy. Game development is becoming too easy. Okay, it's been lovely having you. You can see this is fun again, right? I'm having fun with it. This is wow. Wow, not this. Why the hell do I have to do that? It's like, wow, more. Give me more. Give me more. So let's get more tomorrow. Let's see how we feel after 4 hours of Unity. Probably tomorrow. We'll look at the to-do. We want to do the setup of the base project in Unity. Add efficient basic movement. Probably do the whole dying and the update swimming with the dampening at the top and the bottom, right? So we get the smooth movement, and then basically add some static obstacles. I'm still not sure. So you're gonna get to that point, whatever it takes. I'm still not sure, right? The old fish did a little trick because it was an endless swimmer, right? And I didn't want the float, the position of the fish to endlessly increase. So basically, the fish is swimming in position, but it knows how far it would have been swimming, and then it moves the whole world in the opposite direction, right? Because the world is just always in screen view, and I have no idea how to do that in Godot or Unity. So the obstacles, we'll add obstacles. Maybe we add an obstacle at the bottom of the screen so we can dive into it and see if the dying works. I think that's a good point. But with that, it has been a pleasure. It was a lovely day. Let's hope we keep this momentum, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye.